I wanted to move on to the Knicks. So I see this report this morning, and
Oh,
it's from Shams talking about how they're just calling up around all these big shot coaches in the league: Jason Kidd, Ime Udoka, Quinn Snyder, Chris Finch. What do you make of this bizarre behavior from the
well,
Knicks right now?
I'm not a tinfoil hat guy, but James Dolan, who's been in a band, I'm not sure if he still is, views himself as an artist, and that's why he is his greatest achievement is not the Knicks. I mean, he inherited the cable vision from his dad, right? It's the Sphere in Vegas, which is a remarkable. Have you been there? I think you
I've been there
have been
six
there, actually.
times, Colin. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so it's a remarkable musical engagement achievement, all time in the world. And that's really where his heart is. Irving Avezov, a former great promoter, now I think he's MGM Management, is one of his closest friends. He was, he was had a record label. That's who James Dolan is. So when he wants to get a GM, he goes after a star, Phil Jackson. Then he wanted Steve Kerr and Amari Stoudemire on bad knees out of Phoenix. And Tibbs isn't his kind of guy. So who does he go after? Jason Kidd, who's a star. He's interested in Kevin Durant, who's a star. That's who James Dolan is. He hangs around stars. He loves stars. He's a creative. This is not a criticism, but I think he listened to his players grumble. He sat down with his players, and again, he relates to artists and athletes and stars. Just go look at the history. And when he was doing the Sphere for 2 years, he was disengaged from the team, and they got very patient and very pragmatic and very basketball-y and very Villanova-ish.
Just went
And
right
that's
up.
and that's Tibbs. And so you get rid of Tibbs, it's not the same culture. It's not the same team. You still have the Villanova guys, but it won't feel the same. So it just feels like James, and I almost he reminds me a little bit of Jim Irsay in that Irsay would rather sit with his guitar and hang out with Dylan outside of football more than anything else. And I think James Dolan's a little bit of that. And I think he's an emotional guy. He's an artist. He relates to artists and he listens to his stars. And he didn't have a plan. And I think it's a big, big mistake. Um, by the way, this is what every Knick fan dreaded, is that when he came back from the Sphere, he would get hands on. And there are various reports on who has their fingerprints on this, but they're not getting rid of Tibbs. He just signed a new deal without Dolan, um, you know, acquiescing to a suggestion or making the move himself. So in the end, this is what the Knicks. Man, this league's crazy. Owners in the NFL and the NBA, that all owners now, Jason, are billionaires. It was 10 years ago they weren't. They were worth 600 million or 800 million. They wouldn't blow out staffs. They didn't want to write a $46 million check. That is a rounding error now to these owners. And I see it in the NFL all the time. Guys will just blow out staffs. David Tepper write a 60, $80 million check. The owners didn't want to do that 8, 10, 12 years ago. They do now. So I don't know who they're going to land. I mean, they've been turned down by 7 coaches, all the good ones, Finch and Ime Udoka and Jason Kidd, and they're just getting turned down by everybody.
Yeah, Matt Ishbia blew out his staff twice within 2 years of owning the team. It's completely ridiculous. It's fascinating because I tried to look at it in a very open-minded way because I actually do think Jason Kidd's a better coach now than he gets credit for. A couple
Yeah.
of years ago, I wasn't super high on him, but he, just like anybody else as a competitor, has been doing it for a while now, and he's gotten pretty good at it. I looking at the Knicks for a second, I agree with you in terms of the kind of topsy-turvy, unstable nature with which you look and you portray to people when you fire your coach in a situation like this. But I also think Tibbs left some meat on the bone with this Knicks team. I thought they underachieved all season.
Yeah.
Right out the gates, they underachieved. He brought in all this talent.
He's not a creative offensively. He's not. The
No.
team got very predictable offensively. Sorry to interrupt this great video, but please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Now back to the video.
I thought the major issue with this team schematically was spacing, and it actually impacted both ends of the floor. On offense, what you're mentioning in terms of creative offense, like what he did on offense in terms of his creativity, the spacing for this team was extremely poor, which made life very difficult. But it had a trickle down effect in the sense that poor spacing also affects your transition defense. Like if you don't have your guys situated in proper spaces on the floor, then on misses and turnovers, you don't have guys in position to be back in transition defense. And the Pacers annihilated them in transition and worse than ever in game 6, like embarrassing fashion in game 6 as Siakam and everyone else was just getting run out layup after run out dunk after run out layup. So like I did think there was like a defensible case to move on from Tibbs to more of a tactician. I actually see Jason Kidd as a solid option in the sense that he was a master of modern 4-out spacing with Luka when he was there, which actually I think is a really natural fit with Brunson. And Brunson played for Kidd before. So there's like some natural stuff there. And then he did a good job with transition defense with the Mavs, despite them not being super athletic. So I give him credit for that. That would work. The thing there is it's just unrealistic. And if I'm Jason Kidd, why would like I don't actually see the Knicks as that great of a job. Like insane New York pressure. The roster is really good, but it's not amazing. It's not
And
like
oh, by the way, Mikal Bridges wants a new contract. OG's getting paid. Brunson's getting paid. Like the Mitchell Robinson. These guys are getting paid. Like that Dallas thing, Lively's not getting paid. Cooper Flag won't get paid. I don't know if Max Christie doesn't cost much. AD's getting paid, but you get 24 and 11. Like,
yeah.
I look at Dallas and I'm like, I get excellence when they're healthy, and I get an incredible top end with Lively and Flag. I know what the Knicks are, and there's a ceiling, and I see it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't see it as being the kind of job that Jason Kidd would be willing to basically sabotage his situation and force his way there. And then like the other names I saw, I didn't even particularly like Ime Udoka is a motivator. That's like his primary role. I don't think that's a specific need for the Knicks. Like I think the specific thing the Knicks need is just someone to come in and take them to the next level in terms of their offensive organization and their spacing, which will lead to them having a bunch of additional benefits in transition defense. I understand there's a hesitancy to call a guy like Mike Malone. And the reason why is because he has a reputation for being a hard ass, and Tibbs was kind of a hard ass. And like, I don't think they want to go down that route again. But there's like hard ass, and then there's Tibbs. Like, Mike Malone leaned on his starters big minutes, but still not even close to what Tibbs did. And one of the things I'll say about Mike Malone, he was an excellent defense and spacing coach. He made a championship defense out of non-championship defensive talent, and they were always consistently one of the best floor spacing teams in the league, and they were very good. And again, we got to at least acknowledge Jokic was there. So Jokic makes it a lot easier, obviously. But he specifically was very good at making spacing opportunities out of non-spacers, guys like Aaron Gordon, guys like Christian Brown, guys like Bruce Brown over the years, guys like Russell Westbrook even. So like fitting a guy like Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, some of these non-shooting types of players, even Mikal Bridges, who has struggled a lot as a shooter in this postseason run. Like I actually think Mike Malone is a really good fit for this Knicks team. I think he's a completely reasonable option that doesn't involve you doing something insane like calling around the league. Because here's what gets crazy. Let's say you call the Mavs and they're like, okay, sure, let's talk about Jason Kidd. What are you going to offer us? We already acknowledge this is not a championship roster. So you're going to give up assets for a coach? You need players. You need talent in there. So like it's specifically defensive talent in your front court. So I don't really understand what the end game is here.
Yeah, I am on the short list of people that think Dallas is going to be really good, really fast. I think Flag and Lively are, they're Duke guys. They're going to be quick learners. They play at the highest level of competition collegiately. I think one's 21 or 22. He's going to be a rim protector for the next decade. So Cooper Flag can be out in transition, won't have to worry about being down low and getting jammed up, which has always been what LeBron loves. He doesn't want to be messed up in that junk. He wants he wants that ball out and up the court. So, and I just, PJ Washington, Christie, if Kyrie comes back, I'm not sure what they're going to do with him. AD, I would forget the taxes, forget everything else. I would not leave Dallas. I think Dallas is a good job. The situation that's fascinating to me is Houston, because I think right now San Antonio is about ready to pop. So I like San Antonio, and they could get Giannis, and I think OKC is set, and I think Houston's going to be in that group of three young teams a little lost, because Jalen Green, Amen Thompson's excellent, Sengun's excellent, but there's just a lot of athleticism that's not very good in a half-court game, And I think OKC has popped. San Antonio's going to pop. And if I'm Adoka, I would consider the job. I think Houston's one of those that like the national media, we hover in, we drop in, we go, oh, look at Houston. I didn't like what I saw. Will be honest, and I think you can push them around. I don't think they have a lot of half court possessions that are just sort of lost. You don't get good looks. They look a little disorganized. But Jason Kidd to me, the next 5 years in Dallas are going to be fascinating with just this trajectory that goes through the roof.
The roster is weird because it's kind of imbalanced in the sense that they just have an absurd amount of front court talent. Like you
It's
don't need
crazy.
Lively, Gafford, Anthony Davis, PJ Washington, and Cooper Flag. Like that's five starting caliber players that all play the 4 or the 5. So like
Yeah,
I do see an imbalance there, but there's an insane amount of talent. And I actually go the other way there, which is like they can afford to go into training camp and just bring all these guys in and start playing and basically look around the league and be like, who's going to throw us the Godfather offer for
that's right.
PJ Washington, for
That's right.
Daniel Gafford, for an Anthony Davis? Like you could argue that AD is going to be the target that someone goes after. If because
Yep.
AD's hurt now, so he's got that classic, everyone's down on him, they think he's old, they think he's beat up. AD comes out of training camp looking like he's in great shape, motivated, kicks everybody's butt for a couple of months. He instantly becomes like a dude you could flip for an enormous mountain of assets. And so
Yep.
I look at Dallas as a very, very healthy situation moving forward. It's not the same. Luka Doncic were right on the doorstep of the title, but they do have a lot of big picture potential.